Hello everyone, welcome to Sriram IAS. Myself Sriram IAS Shiva Ignatius. We are again joining for ethics session, and in this session we are going to discuss about case studies. Okay, almost 11 to 12 patterns of case studies are repeatedly appearing in UPSC exams. So each session I'll be showing you different varieties of, that is, different patterns of case studies, because there might be a repetition of the same pattern, and the questions which we are going to discuss will be more or less related to the current trend. Okay, the issues, administrative issues, or any international problems which are going on, any national issues will be highlighted in the case studies. So thus, I'll be just taking a case study. I will discuss how you have to approach that case study. What are the points which you have to give, which you have to highlight in your answers, and how the answers has to be framed. In this way only, we are going to solve the case study. Okay. So first case study in today's class. Just let us begin. So let me read this case for you. Okay. Arun, a young IPS officer, was posted in a state where a lot of drug trade cases have been reported. Much before his stint in the police, that he was inspired to fight against drugs and have always been concerned about the issues that affect the larger public interest. Okay, so when you're making notes related to case study, see this. One thing which you have to, that is, what and all you have to note in the question is the points, the facts which will help you. So he was posted in a state where a lot of drug trades are happening, right? And Arun is concerned about the issues that affect the larger public interest. In this way, while I'm reading, I'll underline, I'll again come through and I'll say you what are the points which you have to know. After inquiry, he came to know that the states have been producers of opium and opioids. Poppies are being grown all over the hills in various regions of the states. Okay. So the state is producing all these things. And the most powerful drug cartels are those operating in neighboring countries. And the state has now become part of international drug cartels. So the drug cartels, this one also we have to know. The state has become the part of drug cartels. Right? So people in the state are so accustomed to the situation that they have started believing it to be part of their lives. It is only recently that mainland journalists have started taking interest in the issue. So you can see this. Even the people have started believing it to be the part of lives, right? And journalists also, now only they are focusing on these issues, but there has been no significant investigative journalism as far as drugs are concerned, at least until now, because of the hidden nexus between many stakeholders. Okay, so even the district, so this also you can note it, and even there is no investigative journalism. These are some highlighting points. Even the district council to high level politicians are involved in the drug trade, and the problem is worse because that there is a nexus between politicians and poppy cartels. So law enforcement agencies also turn a blind eye to the cultivators of poppy. So this you can see that there is proper nexus between the politicians and the drug traders. Then latest in this string of incidents is related to the import of synthetic drugs, its spread in the state, and the involvement of young people. So import of synthetic drugs, this is another issue, and young people involvement. With this, the drug cartels are reported to have become even more innovative and technology savvy. Okay. So like how you are also trying to find out and surf out, but the drug cartels are becoming more innovative and technology savvy. The orders for these have been placed on the dark web and paid in cryptos and arrive from various destinations into the state. Okay. This one you can see. It's also reported that the students are offered this drug for free initially, and when addicted are forced into drug peddling. Okay, so students are involved in this and drug peddling. Further, narcotic substances eliminate all inhibitions and embolden people to commit gruesome crimes. This we all know, right? After Arun started taking action against drug cartels, he was even coaxed by mafia that he would receive lump sum money. And when refused, he started receiving threatening calls. So one, he was offered money, and then if he, after he refused it, they were threatening him. So from the drug cartel, and even he was warned by the political heads that he would be transferred. And this type of calls and threatening messages he is receiving from various sides, and political pressures at one side. Okay, so this is a situation which we have described in the case. And if you see, you might think this is a very big case study and all. You take the previous year's questions, you can see that the question is such a big and a lengthy question you will be seeing in your paper. So this is one pattern, like it will be like a story completely covered, covering an issue. They will make a story in the case. You have to read it very carefully. One important thing which you have to note in this kind of case study is that you have to see what are the issues which are brought inside. It's like a merging of issues, submerging of issues, we can say. So you have to note what are the issues so far we have discussed in this cases. I have already underlined. We will see the questions, then we will come back. So one time when you are going and sitting in the exam hall, this is just here it's a way I'm solving the case, but when you go to the exam hall, you'll be facing these types of questions. How you have to react to it, what are the things which you have to note, how much time you have to take. I'll be explaining everything. See this, these are some of the questions which are asked related to this case. What are the options available to cope up with the situation? This is question number 1. Okay, what are the options which are available to Arun to cope up with the situation? And what Arun would do at this situation and why? Can you list out the ethical issues in the above case and ethical issues related to drug issue or drug abuse? And fourth question is something that what measures would you like to suggest to tackle this problem? Okay, so these are some of the questions which are put forward, right? And now see, come back. These types of questions are very big and you cannot note every points in the first reading. You have to give at least 2 readings, minimum 2 readings. Maximum you can take 3 readings, but stop and think a bit. And when you're reading, you have to be very careful. You have to read each line very, very carefully and underline those facts which are involved in this case. In this case, what is this case study is about? You have to frame something in your mind in such a way. Taking all those points, you frame a chart in your mind. Okay, so this is about a drug case. Why I have taken this particular drug issue? Because recently lot of newses were there related to the drug problems, especially the import of synthetic drugs through dark webs and payment through cryptocurrencies. So it's not easy to trace it down or track down them and stop this kind of synthetic drugs imported by the people from various states, especially the northeastern states and all is affected because of this. So we are going into the topic. This is about a drug case and the drug trade and the cartels and the mafias who are involved into it. So Arun was recently posted in this particular state, and what he has faced, he has come to know that a lot of drug trade cases has been happening in this state, and here there is proper nexus between the drug cartels as well as the political peoples as well as the government employees. This way there is proper nexus between various stakeholders is there. So they are all joining together and they are helping the international drug cartels also. So in this way, 2 problems are stated out here. One, cultivation of poppies. Okay, and another second, the import of synthetic drugs. Okay, in this way, there are 2 issues he is facing. So one is where every part of the hills, this type of illegal cultivation is taking place. Second, even students, even youngsters of the state youth of the state is trying to import the synthetic drug through dark web and cryptos. So these are the 2 problems which we have underlined here. And another important point, if I want to bring to your notice, is that the journalism, especially the investigative journalism is completely absent, and this is also a major problem because people are not aware about it. And another thing is that how corruption has been accepted as a part of a social fabric. It has been embedded into the social fabric. People started accepting it as a form of life or a way of life. Similarly, drug also has been accepted as a way of life in some of the states. Okay, so that was highlighted here. So this and all you have to keep in mind, and then the answers has to address each and everything when you're trying to write the answer. Okay, so now we'll move to the questions and we'll solve questions one by one. Okay, so in meantime, another last point which should come in your mind is that Arun is facing pressure from various sides in the form of money offered by the cartels, and also in the negative form, that if you are not accepting it and if you are disturbing us further, we are going to make show you hell, like, because the drug cartels are involved into it, and big peoples are also involved into it, and they are also threatening, giving political pressures also for him, right? So this is the issue. Now come to the questions. What are the options available to cope up with the situation? So we are going to show what are the options before Mr. Arun. Okay, so how you have to frame answer for this question? They have not asked to analyze anything. They are asking what are the options available to Arun. Okay, so now first question we are going to frame the answer. For that, see this. Yes, sorry. For first question, what you can do, you can just make a table like this. Okay, you can make a table and then you can say the options available. What are the options? Okay, so options available to Arun. So this will be the first question answer. For this, what you can have to say, this is options. These are explanation about the options. If you want to give explanation, okay, if you want to give even the merits and demerits, it's up to you. You can add it, but it's not asked in the question. They're not asking you to analyze the option. But further, if you want to do, you can do it out of your own interest, because it's, if it is able to occupy in the same table, then you can do that. So option A, I like to give three options here: option A, option B, and option C. Okay, so first option A, that Arun can simply keep away or avoid the situation, because he is receiving a lot of threatening calls from the various peoples and pressures. So he has to manage his own family. So he can just keep away from all these problems. He can just shut down all those operations. He can just do his other duties. So Arun can avoid the situation. This is first option. Okay, option number, or this is options explanation. So the positive thing will be related to this is that Arun will lead a happy life. Okay, on the other hand, he'll also have get benefit from the cartel, from the mafias. Okay, benefits he will reap from the mafia, like much money in the form of money or anything. So the negative side is that it's totally illegal and an unethical option only. I can say like that. Okay, so this has to be simply, you keep it simple. Need not explain. See, sometimes what students do when they're trying to give options, you have to address 4 questions, and there should be a proper, space management you have to do first of all. You will continuously write merits and demerits. A lot of merits you can add on. So if you're doing it, there will be no space for the other questions to be attended. Okay, so be cautious in that. It's totally an illegal and unethical option, and it's also a form of corruption only. We can say that. In this way, you can keep it simple and short. Okay. Then come to option B. You can say that, okay, fine. One, he is avoiding the situation. Second, he is continuing with this. He's continuing doing his duty. Okay. So he is taking action. He is not caring about anyone. He's not caring about the threatening calls. He's not caring about the political pressures. He's continuing doing his duty and keeping up his responsibility. So positive thing is that his conscience will be clear. Okay, so because he is doing his duty, what is his job? He is doing it. So conscience is clear here. Okay, because he is keeping up his responsibility. That is the positive thing I can say. And negative thing is that, again, there will be a lot of pressures from every side. He might even get transfer. transfer, because already these people are trying to do that. So when somebody is acting against it, because a lot of political peoples are involved in it, and that's how transfers or even threatening calls, or somebody is threatening the family members. So everybody is not in safety. His family is not in safety. That is one side we can keep. Third is something we can move ahead. Apart from being rule wise, regulations wise, he is doing or performing his duty, he can also go further, stretch his hand and involve the other stakeholders in fighting against this drug cartels. Okay, so like the investigative journalist we can bring. So also we can also involve some other, even apart from he acting alone, he can also act along with other task forces which are set up for fighting against the drug trade. Like this, he can involve even we can bring some activists. Okay, so this way they have to all join together and then stop the fight against this drug menace. Okay, so this positive thing is that we will be able to control this drug cartel to some extent. This will be the positive thing, I can say. Controlling the drug cartel or the drug trade to some extent, positive. Negative thing is that again he will be facing a lot of pressure. His job is not assured. He has to get transferred. His family is not at safe hands. Okay, so this way he will be facing a lot of problems and pressures from various sides. This will be the negative thing which we can say. Right. So there are three options which we have proposed. That one is that he is simply avoiding the situation and running away without doing his duty. That will be the first option. Second option is that he is facing it with courage. He is facing whatever he is, like whoever who is going to threaten or any political pressure, unless he leaves the place, he leaves the position to another. If he gets transferred to some other district, unless he leaves that particular place, he can continue his duty. Okay, so that way he is doing his responsibility, because he has to be truthful to his conscience. He has to uphold integrity as an officer, as an IAS officer. Okay, so at the same time, drug problem. Okay, so this way we have given three options for Arun. And now what is the next question? See, come to the question section. First part of this question is over. What Arun would do at this situation and why? Okay, now we have given already, since the examiner has asked about the options, we have given the options. Now he's asking, okay, find the options and all. You have thought about the options. So what Arun would prefer at this situation and why he would do that? Okay. Then you have to put yourself in his position, then think and reply to this question, that what a person will do at this situation. For that, we can see that already, in the question itself, it is given he is a person who want to act in the public interest. He is not thinking about his own self-interest. Okay, so that is one point. When we are reading the question, you would have noticed it. So it was like this. As you can see, even before starting his job, his thoughts are like this. Okay, he has to act in the interest of the people only. Okay, so that's, we can see that it is here. He's acting the larger public interest only. Okay, so now we'll come to that question and what answers we are going to give for that question. That only we are going to see. So for that, see, first thing is that it's a loop of operation. It's not a single act he can perform. So it's a loop of operation. Since we have already said that students are involved, youths are involved, okay, and internet is also involved. Through internet only they are going to purchase a synthetic drug on one hand. So yes, first of all, without telling what is synthetic drug, I was talking about. I think you would have known about synthetic drugs already. Synthetic drugs means it's not a natural ingredient. Naturally there are certain drugs, not only the plant like marijuana or opiums or poppies. These are plants. But there are certain other mushrooms also which is having psychoactive substances. Okay, so they act as drugs like magic mushrooms and all that are natural. But synthetic means here the chemicals, the man-made drugs are called as synthetic drugs. By altering the composition, similar to marijuana, they will see how marijuana is composed. Then they will alter the composition. They will prepare the drug. See, the natural drugs are banned. You cannot sell directly over the internet everything. It's illegal. But on the other hand, it's a synthetic composition like N bombs. They call this as N bombs. Different names it comes. LDN. Okay, these are synthetic drugs. Okay, and they try to sell this over the internet or even in the stores or also something. Some compositions are available directly. So these we call as synthetic drugs. Now, come to the question point. What he will do? First, undercover operations. So he can perform certain undercover operations to surf out the sources where these things are getting supplied to the students or the children's. Even children's are involved into it. And also, they're not only taking drugs, but they are also becoming a peddler. Imagine. So that's how undercover operations can be done. And wherever the parties are going, mainly if you see, the drug supplies will take place in the enormous level where the parties are there. Party, in order to celebrate that, students or youngsters will import a lot of synthetic drugs or poppies or opiums or anything, heroines like this they will have. So through that they can trace down, track down the source from where they are receiving it. Okay, so that way undercover operations can be performed. Secondary, I can say the silent operations. One is undercover. You are going everywhere, disguising yourself. Okay, and then you are also mingling in the party, then you are identifying from where this is sourced out. Silent operations. Without even going to visiting anybody, you are just keeping watch of the students, the youth. When you come to know that through the school management, okay, what they can do, they can ask the school management to keep watch of the children who are acting weird. Okay, then they will give you information, and those students personal numbers and anything can be kept in check, and automatically this can be sourced out easily. So what they are doing, whom they are communicating often, why they are behaving like this way you can identify easily. So this is called a silent operations. Through this we will be able to again track down the source of supply. And third thing which I want to say is about collaboration. So instead of acting alone, the police department which is acting alone, he has to join hands with anti task force, anti drugs task force, or such way, a task force which is formed to act against the narcotic drugs. Okay, so this way we can say that he can collaborate with the task force, and then he can bring he can think about a new solution, like how to surf down or how to track down the illegal cultivators, one way. Secondary, you can also track down the dark web with the help of this task force. You can do it. So anti narcotics or anti drug task force we can call, any name you can give, but generally in the states like this only, they are calling this as anti narcotics task force. Okay, yes. Yes, very good evening, Inbavalli, Kanika, Uma. Yeah, very good. Good evening. Fine, good. Yeah, Saurabh, Hindi. See, thing is that this is completely English medium, and one thing is that I am just in a learning phase, like in the Hindi only, and that's how in the English medium I'll be used to express in English only. Suppose if you're asking any doubt in Hindi, I'm able to predict it, and then I can give you an answer. Okay, so don't take it in a wrong way. Okay, yeah. Fine. Then collaboration. Okay. Then come to the last thing, that is intervention project. So it's like a loop. Okay. He has to act like a loop. So what is this intervention project is about? That means that it's like a campaign. Okay. It's like a campaign or awareness program. Campaign or awareness program, I can say. Okay. That is called as intervention project. Okay. So here we are making this state, people, the citizens to know about what are the dangerous effect of consuming drugs, and what are the mental problems or traumas these people are facing. This way, you are creating awareness generation program has to be started throughout the district. Okay, so that this can be stopped to some extent. So this is a loop of operation which can be performed in order to face the drug problem, right? Now, come to the next question. So what is the next question about? See this? So we have completed the second question. And why he is acting in this manner? Why he is taking this kind of action? Because the main reason is that he cannot tolerate anything which is affecting the larger public interest, and in order to protect the public interest, he is he is taking necessary action and performing his duty and responsibility as a civil servant. Okay, so that way we can give an answer. And can you list out the ethical issues in the above case and ethical issues related to drug abuse? Okay, so this is the third question which we are asking. So now you have to give what are the ethical issues related to drug problem. Okay, that will make an answer. And the drug abuses. Okay, what are the ethical problems? To say, I can start like from the problems faced by youth. Okay, now youth are involved, children are involved. So youth, when he is undergoing the problems, drug problem or drug abuses, he loses a general humanity. Okay, human values. He doesn't have human values. All the good values and all the ethics are getting deteriorated. So he is only having derogatory values. Okay, just a minute. Yes. So this way I can say that there is deterioration in the human values, and he is involving in gruesome crimes. Okay, because there is no human values left over with him. So he is involving in gruesome crimes like chain snatching, because he want money to buy drugs. And if he doesn't have money, what happens? He's involving in crimes like chain snatching, threatening somebody, even murder. It's happening. So this type of, even after taking drug, he is behaving like an animal. So this kind of human values is completely deteriorated in case of the youth who is undergoing or who is addicted to drugs, I can say. Okay. Then apart from that, he is also involved in all types of crime. So this is completely unethical problem which we can face. And secondary thing is spreading of infections. So infectious diseases, as you all know that, and even in the northeastern states and all, we are facing, this is a problem which is prevailing there. So like HIV infections, they are trying to use the same injections or like that, and they doesn't know what they are doing after taking drug. And because of that lack of safety mechanisms, the infections are spreaded over the state. Even the innocent people are getting affected because of this. Okay, so this way you can say this is another problem which we can say. And after this one, may say the human values, deterioration of the human values, this youth who is a part of the family is completely dragging down the family values also. And this, because of this, the social order and public decency is also affected. Social order and public decency is also getting affected. And values like the higher human values like peace is also affected. Peace and order is also affected. So like this we can say that youth is performing certain unethical acts and illegal acts are involving in this. Apart from this, he is undergoing a mental problem, a mental trauma or mental illness, we can say like that. So this is another problem related to youth. And come to the students. What are the problems faced by students? See this? Like students. Yes. So they are also involving in treacheries. Okay, because in order to hide from the family, they are disloyal to the family members. They are hiding everything. Apart from this, they are also getting affected physically also, mentally also. Okay, and the career of the students is completely spoiled here. This is again a kind of immoral act we are inflicting on the society, and it's a totally kind of unethical act only. So this students are also involved into it, and that their career development is completely spoiled. Okay, so the future is completely questionable in case of the students. And come to that point where we have mentioned about the nexus which is happening between the drug cartels as well as the political people. So in this case, I can say, and in even the government officials in cases, okay, political people plus government officials. So what is hidden here, that the one who has to act in public interest, one who has to act in public interest and safeguard and prevent the public from harm which is to be inflicted on them or over them, is also involving, is just involving into it. Okay, is involving in the crime, and here there is totally a degradation of values like integrity, okay, honesty, dedication to public service. There is no such values can be seen in the people like that. And they are also having huge self-interest. They only want money, okay? They only want to earn lot of money in a shorter period, and they are not ready to think about the benefit of people. Okay, so that we are involving in some activity which is going to harm the people. They are not caring about anything like this. So this way we can say that. Okay, sorry. Yes. So this way we can say that these are some of the problems which are associated with the drugs, especially the ethical issues, we can say. Okay. Then what is the next question which is asked in this question? What measures would you like to suggest to tackle this problem? Now we are going to see the last question in this. What measures are you suggesting to tackle this problem? Okay, for that, you have to give the long-term measures for this question. So what are the long-term measures you are going to bring here? So for this, first thing is law and order. What you can do in case of law and order, the stringent measures, okay, stringent punishments and proper implementation of law or act which is already there. The Narcotics, Drugs and Psychotropic Substances Act. There is an act like this, Narcotic Drugs and Psychotropic Substances Act, NDPS Act. Okay, this act is saying that any person who is involving in drug trade can be imprisoned, okay, and at least up to 2 years period, and this has to be implemented in a very stringent way and in a very strict way. So we are already having acts and rules and regulations to stop the drug trades or to punish the people who are involving in drug trade, but proper measures has not been implementation. There is a lot of loopholes in the implementation. That's why we are saying we have to strengthen the law and order. And the second thing is that involving in patrolling and cyber patrolling, okay, both patrolling that field visits, frequent field visits has to be done in order to see where and all this the sorry poppies are cultivated illegally. That way you have to first serve down through field visit, you have to check it. And cyber patrolling, why are you doing cyber patrolling? That is mainly to check the dark web activation for purchasing of or importing of synthetic drugs. Okay, in this way I can say patrolling as well as cyber patrolling will help. Third thing is that this social stigma has to be ended. The main problem here is that when a youth or a student is taking drugs and become drug abusers, so they completely was isolated from the society. They get alienated from the society. They were treated as if they are like a devil. Anna. So, but here, what you have to think, the behavior change strategy should take place. People, they themselves has to change. The family has to change. The society has to change. And the schools, the educational institutions, colleges has to change. You have to treat the people who are involved into this kind of, addiction as a kind of disease only. It has to be treated as a kind of disease, and it's not like something which should be stigmatized, right? So and you have to properly care for them and give proper psychological counseling also and proper treatment also. Along with that, follow up is very much essential. So the end of social stigma is very important to break the cycle, and curative intervention is very very important. As I already told, the peer groups as well as the educational institutions, I can say like this, peer groups, educational institutions, okay, and even the family members has to cooperate in this. Educational institutions and even the family members has to cooperate in order to bring the curative interventions, okay. That is, it should be in such a way that you have to give psychological support also, and also medical attention has to be given to these people, and proper follow-ups has to be done. So this is something which is very very important, and to make the students and the youth come out of this problem. And next is that rallies and campaigns, because I already told you that the last two option when we are giving, when Arun, what Arun has to do for that, we have said he has to cooperate with various stakeholders. So here, rallies and campaigns has to be conducted along with the anti-narcotics task force, joining hands with the investigative journalists, even joining hands with the activists and the people, volunteers who are ready to do something, ready to spread awareness messages to the community that what are the ill effect of consuming a drug. Okay, so that rallies and campaigns can be conducted, and through this awareness can be generated to the community. And another one important thing is that, yeah, this is something which is related to social influence and persuasion. Again, you can bring something in the form of social influence and persuasion, where, I think this topic is there for you. Already you would have noticed the social influence. Now, you bring the keywords. When you're writing your case, I already told you, you have to bring the keywords. Social influence and persuasion techniques can be used. For in case of social influence, you can bring some likable sources. Okay, the person one who is under drug addiction, who likes someone, their father or mother, sister, somebody who is very close to them, whom they used to love, so they can come and have a talk and interaction with them. Or credible sources has to come and give some media coverage, that like doctors, they have to come and say what are the ill effects of taking these drugs. After consuming a drug, what and all will happen to your body, and how you will get affected both mentally and physically, and how your career is going to get affected, and like that they can give all the problems which are associated with drugs. So this is something a credible sources can do. And also the scarcity principle can be applied here, that someone who is very much wanted by the people, who are having a mass group below, like a hero you can take, or any even a cricketer you can take. Okay, so these people are mostly crowd pullers, so they can come and they are scarcely available in the to the people, so they can deliver a message to the people or community that how this you have to fight against this drugs. Okay, so this way social influence techniques can be used, and persuasion techniques should also be used along with social influence technique in such a way that you have to persuade. Yes, yeah, very good, Gargi. Fine, I hope you are understanding because I have made in a very simple language only for you all. So this way you can see that persuasion techniques can also be used, because it's very important tool for an officer, IAS officer, like persuasion and all. It's a very important tool which he has to possess. Okay, to sorry. So next, I can say that preventive incarceration has to be happen. So if you are trying to become suspicious about a profile, you are thinking that this person is a proper supplier of drugs to the students in the near the school, or to the youth, or somebody, some any party, he is the one who is going to supply, then you can just imprison him for preventive method. Okay, so you can imprison and then you can lock him up, and this way you can try to fight against this. These are some of the measures which can be taken against to fight against the drug cartels or the drug mafias. Okay. Now, we'll that's it. That's the first question. As I have, we need not go back. It takes a longer time. The first question is related to drugs problem, which is prevailing in the society, and the supply of drugs from the neighboring countries. How the raw materials are sourced from India, and how it is supplied back to India, and how these youth and the students who are in the border areas are getting affected because of this. And the demographic dividend is completely affected, because we know the youth are the backbone of a country economy, and when the youth is gone, okay, the youth power is gone, and they are the workable workforce, no, so once it is gone, then India's economy would definitely fall. So this is kind of a terrorism only, we can say. So this is one thing. Second thing is that the spread of infectious diseases through this type of infections is spreading continuously throughout India. So these are some of the problems which we are facing due to drugs, and based on that we have made a case study, and we have also seen this pattern is the very recent pattern, like for past 2 to 3 years, these types of questions, lot of questions, almost 3 to 4 questions, or sometimes even 5 questions has been asked in the case study in a single case, right? Now we'll move to the next case study. Yes. See, apart from that, I have added some slides for you for the first case. I have said that these are some of the approaches which are given by United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime has given this approaches for you. So you can use this for especially the cyber crimes. I told you the synthetic drugs, importing of synthetic drugs. So what are the steps you can take in order to stop that? So apart from writing the steps there, you can also add few more like searching, identifying. A proper cyber security cell has to be formed. Okay, in such a way that IT experts, software developers should be there, and that way only you can stop this menace like this. Okay, the cooperation between international regional cooperation, public-private partnership, interagency cooperation, and bilateral cooperation. This you can read on your own. So what I have discussed already, and apart from that, few points which we have not discussed also is here. You can read it out. Right, now we will go to the next question. See, let me read the question here. Starting from single tree to single river, man's activities has damaged and deteriorated the health of the entire ecosystem. Rightly to say, even the damage caused in one part of the world, forcing the vulnerable sections to part with their land and move as landless or stateless people and live a pitiful life. Not to mention of small and large scale human greed, blind anthropocentrism has pushed climate change, ocean depletion, destruction of the rainforest, and the poisoning of water and air, the pace of species extinction, the abundance of wildfire, and many other environmental crises we are facing. And in turn, these are going to affect humans' way of living and their health in various ways. So this is a case which is stating about various environmental problems we are facing, okay, in the society, in the country, in the region, in the international level, everywhere, throughout the world, we are facing certain environmental problems. So that has been described in this case, and they are saying like this is mainly taking place due to man's greed. Now we'll complete the question. Although on one side we have come out with lot of intergovernmental and intra-governmental efforts to protect the nature, still we are facing severe threat to nature. In that, three questions has been asked under this. Question number one, see this type of case study has appeared 3-4 years before, even 2-3 years before also, connecting the case study with the theoretical part. So they were asking some theory questions after describing some administrative issues. They were asking some theory questions in that. Below the question section, they are asking them. Similarly, anytime this pattern might get repeated again. So that's how I have made this question. You can see the first question under this is, can you discuss some of the ethical issues associated with the global warming and climate change? So ethical issues related to climate problems. That is the first question. So you have to discuss some ethical issues which are associated with the environmental problems. First question. Second question, do you think can rights of the nature be protected without changing the development paradigm? Okay, so that is the second question. Third, as only the rules and regulations cannot end this environmental problem, do you feel that environmental ethics is the need for an administrator? Why and why not? Why he has to have that? Why he should not have that? Okay, in this way we are going to write the answers for three questions which are given here, right? Fine. So now we will begin with the first question. Yes. Even if you have any doubt, please let me know there only, and I can discuss it for you. So now we'll move to the first question. See, in this case, first question is asking, can you discuss some of the ethical issues associated with the global warming and climate change? So now we are going to discuss about the ethical issues related to environmental problems, especially the global warming and climate change. So for that, I am drawing this diagram. You can see, not diagram, it's like a smart art we can use. First, which I like to discuss under this, the ethical issues. First thing, I can give a word called environmental injustice. Environmental injustice. Okay. You can also mention this through a word called toxic colonialism. Colonialism. That means what we are trying to do, we are trying to give injustice to some group of or some community of people. See, as the developed countries is doing to the developing country. The developed country is doing towards the small island countries. Now, what is happening once when global warming is keep on, it keep on increasing because of the greenhouse gas emissions, which is there, which is prevalent in the which is prevalent in the world, and because of this, global warming is keep on increasing, and this leads to sea level rises. Okay, so sea level is keep on increasing, and because of that, what happens? The low-lying countries and the island countries are getting submerged under the water. That will be the result. So now, even that country, the mostly the low-lying land or the island countries are the low-income countries. So they are not developed countries; they are developing countries. They are very poor countries. Okay, so they don't have bigger factories or bigger industries to pollute the environment. Who has done all those damage? The developed countries has already done it. But now, what we are trying to do, we are making them as a skewed vulnerabilities completely. That is skewed vulnerabilities. Okay, you can mention this word also. The common man is affected because of this. One who has created this pollution is living a safer life, but on the other hand, one who is not even a part of this is going to get affected completely. And we are also inflicting a kind of injustice to them in the form of, like, especially when the country started creating MDG goals. It was like something a West lecturing the rest of the countries. The West, one who has done all the damages to the earth, is asking the rest of the countries to follow certain goals, to set certain targets. And they're saying, we don't, it doesn't matter. Now we have to take care of the environment. It doesn't matter whether you develop or not. How versus your economy. We don't care about it. You just care about the environment. This is the kind of message they are delivering to the people. And it's a form of injustice we are committing towards a particular community. So not only that, in every kind, we are creating an injustice to those people who are voiceless, who are speechless. So this is totally an unethical issue, we can say, or ethical problem, which is revolving around this environment problems. Third, I can also mention about the greed. The anthropocent man is always having anthropocentric view. Okay, anthropocentric view towards the environment. And because of this, what he's thinking environment is there for his own benefit. Okay, he can extract anything, he can remove not, how much amount he want, he can remove from the environment, and the environment is there to give everything for him. He's considering him as the topmost species in the world, and rest of them is below him. Okay, that kind of attitude, that kind of mentality is there for him, and that's why he has destroyed the houses of every animals or the species which he has to co-travel. That is, he has to live along with them, and he is always putting him at the topmost priority, and is breaking down the chain. The balance of the environment will be maintained and will be in the stable manner only when every species in that particular chain is addressed properly and it has been protected properly. But now we are already have lost most of the part of the chain has been lost because many has become extinct. So this is something he's devoiding his own responsibility. As a human, you should have taken the responsibility, you should have taken the initiative to protect other organisms which are there, but already we have lost many of them. So this is something I can say. Another issue is the anthropocentric view, and fourth is instrumental, always treating the environment with the instrumental values only. Okay, you are thinking that environment is there for you, and you are only seeing that in the form of values. Even now the problem is that only. We are saying that we are going to conserve the environment, we are going to protect the environment, and we are saying that we will move towards the nature positive approach. What is nature positive approach? We are saying, okay, we'll go for nature positive approach, but the problem is that it is not nature positive. It's something like you are saying that I will purchase something now, I will pay later. Okay, the thing is that you are saying that I am going to degrade the environment, I am going to deposit money for that because environment is giving me these services, so I am paying the money for him. So everything is only viewed from the value angle, okay? Only from the economic angle you are viewing, and you are not really understanding the intrinsic value which is hidden in each and everything the environment is providing to the humans. So this is again a problem, environment ethical problem only. And I already discussed about environmental injustice we are committing towards the particular communities, and also sustainable development. No, we are affecting the future generation. So we are completely extracting the environment and affecting the environment through the form of pollution. And in this way, we are harming the future generation. Okay, generation. And it's totally another unfair means. Okay, unfair means, I can say that these are some of the ethical problems which are prevailing around the environmental issues. And another one important you can point, you can also note it, that is climate or environmental refugees. It results in environmental or climate refugees, you can say like that, climate refugees. Okay, so what happens? Refugees, you already know what is meant by refugees. Refugees are those people who are moving from one place, who are seeking the protection from the place where they're living. They move from that place to another place in seek of protection. Okay, they are not migrants. They are not migrants. They are not planning something and then they are moving from one place to another to have a better life. They are leaving that place. They are abandoning that place because they are not able to survive in that place, and they are running towards another place for having a better life. Same way, when a person is leaving that place where he is staying because of environmental problems, because of climate oriented problems like drought, prevalence of drought or submergence of land. Okay, this way we can say that if the problems are arising due to climate or environmental, then they are called as environmental refugees. Already lot of people are pouring in the form of environmental refugees. Even you can see inside our own India, the farmers once who used to be cultivating the farms have now become an extinct species. If I want to say in the environmental language, I can say he has become an extinct species. Only after some time, we can only see the specimen of a farmer, and they will also show some films to you. Okay, this is a farmer. Once he used to be like this. He used to cultivate the farm. Okay, so that way we have to study. We have to teach our great grandchildren. Maybe there is very few days it may occur. So the problem is that now he is leaving his farm, he is leaving his land, he is moving towards the urban area in the form of informal sector workers, or I can say informal workers taking menial jobs. So this is a shame on our country, shame on the humankind, I can say, shame on the humankind, because you are not able to protect the people, and because of environmental crisis, they are leaving the places. And this is one unethical problem we are facing because of the environmental issues. Come to the second question. So first question is over. This is first question. Second question, do you think can rights of the nature be protected without changing the development paradigm? So this is a question which is directly asked to you. So you have to think and answer this question. What type of answers you can give for this question? See, in the first question, it was almost a direct question. It was up to you to discuss the ethical problems which are associated with the environmental problems. So apart from what I have discussed, you can also add more points. You can prepare notes in such a way that if suppose this type of questions is coming, then you can directly write the answer. Okay, instead of thinking, you can write the answers. You can reflect your answers which you have already prepared. Come to the second question. This is it's the question which you have to think. They are asking that your opinion in this, whether nature can be protected without changing the development. So then what will be your answer? So what stand I am going to take is, yes, nature can be protected without changing the development. Okay, how you can do that? For that only, we have brought a lot of initiatives, lot of programs. As you can see that, right, see this. Like environmental damage, we are trying to rectify the environmental problems, because, directly environment and economy are connected directly. So if you are trying to only focus on the economy or the growth, even for that you can take an example of our budget 2023-24 itself is reflecting that only. Previously, we only thought about the growth and the economy only, but now we are thinking about green growth. We are talking about green jobs. The reason is that we have to protect the one earth we are having, and we have to protect it. Otherwise, where we will go and live? So that's how we say we can develop. We want development, but we cannot spoil the environment which is remaining there. We cannot impair the quality of the environment in the name of development, so that the future generation will have nothing in the name of environment, right? So for this only, even now there is a movement related to nature positive approach has to be given. So previously we were only talking about net zero. We were only talking in this angle. Okay, we have to bring everything to the zero, land degradation neutrality, carbon net zero. We were only focusing in that angle. But now we are moving ahead. Even you can take UN Red as an example. In UN Red, we were talking about forest, reducing the emissions from forest degradation. That is UN Red. But now we are talking about UN Red Plus. No, we are moving from UN Red and to UN Red Plus. That means apart from reducing the emissions, apart from limiting the damages you are causing to the environment, we are moving to the positive angle. That is enhancing the biodiversity, enhancing the ecosystem, enhancing the forest cover. All these are called as nature positive approach only. So from net zero to positive, we are moving in this angle. So don't only focus on this. Even there is a term called as land degradation neutrality, which is there inside our UNCCD convention, United Nations Convention to Combat Desertification. That we are talking about land degradation neutrality. That means land degradation should be stopped. That is land degradation neutrality. But here we are saying move towards positive approach. Not only stop the land degradation, enhance the forest cover and improve the fertility of the soil so that the degradation can be completely stopped. Okay, so this is something a nature positive approach is talking about, and that is how we are trying to bring development along with the environment considerations. For this, what we have to do, we have to have certain tools. When you are designing a programs or designing a policy, you have to consider certain tools like yes, see this, certain tools like environmental impact assessment. Okay. Yes, yes. Okay, good. Adrik, thank you so much. Environmental impact assessment, EIA. Okay, even environmental management systems, environmental management systems. These are some of the tools which you have to use while you are designing a program or policies. Okay, so management system, EMS, EIA. Okay, also the LCA. These are some of the tools we can say, right? So through this, we are trying to analyze that impact of the particular project or impact of the particular product which you have developed on the environment. So this, in this way, we can try to bring development without affecting the nature. Okay, development can also take place at the same time. It should not affect the nature. For that, we have designed, even for engineering projects, we are bringing green building codes. All this are followed now, so that there will be lesser impact on the environment. Okay, then and for this case only we also brought SDG, so that way you can connect some point and give answer for this question. Come to the third question. See, the second question got over. Now what is third question is saying? As only the rules and regulations cannot end this. Okay, environmental cannot end this environmental problems. Do you feel that environmental ethics is the need for an administrator? So why and why not? This is a question. So they are asking a question like that. Already an administrator, that is civil service, this civil servant is acting based on the rules and regulations or the rule book. No, so they are acting in such a way. And if that is the case, what I can say, apart from following the rule book or the rules and regulations, whether he has to have environmental ethics within him. Okay, so what is environmental ethics first of all? Environmental ethics means having consciousness about the environment. Environmental awareness should be there for you. That is called as environmental ethics. So that the feeling has to be from that you have to treat an environment also with a balanced approach. With the eco-centric view, you have to treat the environment. You should not keep yourself as the priority. You should not be always centric towards you. You should put environment as your first priority. So that's how you have to think about think in the environmental ethics. So the question is demanding that whether an administrator, apart from following rules and regulations, should always keep environmental ethics inside, that whether he has to follow environmental ethics also. Why and why not? So if you are going to say yes, then you have to say yeah, why you are saying yes. If you are saying no, then also you have to explain why are you saying no. Okay, so first, in this case, what I am going to do is that I am going to say yes, an administrator should definitely have environmental consciousness and follow environmental ethics while he is making choices, while he is making or implementing the programs and policies for the people, or when he is trying to implement some schemes in his district, he has to definitely keep this in mind. The reason is that administrator are the reflection of the society. We all know that no administrators. See, just let me take. Sorry. Administrators are the reflection of the society. I can say like that. So, they are acting as a role model. Role model. People are keenly watching him. Okay. So, when they are trying to watch the administrator who is leading the district, he has to show certain concerns towards the environment so that the people also follow his same step. And another thing is that if he is trying to make any choice, if he is trying to solve any problem, keeping environmental concern in his mind, then he has to, people will trust him over the period, and they will understand that whatever he is going to do is for the benefit of the people as well as the benefit of the environment. Okay, he's not going to spoil the environment in such a way, in any way. Second thing. Third thing is that I can give that as an administrator. Already we are talking about, you are just going to reflect the mind of the government to the people. So the government is now moving towards environmental conscious approaches, environmental conscious strategies. For that only we have brought a lot of schemes and a lot of programs. We are already associated with international programs, international conventions, and party to various conventions. Rules and regulations are already existing in our country. So when you, for your own self interest, are going to deteriorate the environment and not going to take any action against the mining, sand mining mafias, or encroachments, forest encroachment people, or poaching the wildlife, and you are not going to take any action against these people, then who will do it? So here, the thing is that if you are only acting on your self interest or you don't care about the environment, then definitely it is totally against the rules and regulations which is already there, which is already asking you to follow all those things. And for this, I can also say some examples you can bring in. Okay, since the officers, the administrators, who is a reflection, who is acting as a role model for the society. For example, a senior IAS officer in Uttarakhand, when he came in deputation to Delhi, he saw how people are completely, polluting the city. After seeing that, he thought he has to promote the, greener ways in his office, and he started cycling from his office to his, from his home to the office, around 8 kilometers. Every day he started cycling, and now he has also started a campaign in which he is encouraging the government employees that they should cycle at least once in a week. You have to come through cycling to the office. So this way an initiative has been taken. Not only this, even you can take a lady officer who is very upright and fearless, who started acting against the sand mining mafia. Even though she has been depromoted, even though she has been suspended, she is taking action against these people. Okay, and again, long back also, lady who officer who was an IAS officer, who has taken an initiative to ban the plastic. Even now only government is banning it. She has done it around 15 years before she brought this scheme, that no plastic bags has to be used in over the hill. Okay, so where the visitors are coming, where the tourists are also coming, they are stopped at the base. There only all the plastic bags will be removed, and this type of initiative was taken by her, and now that hill is even protected because of her initiative only. Once it was like a trash, because people, lot of visitors used to come, lot of tourists used to come, they throw the plastic bottles, and totally it was completely like a trash. And then she took this initiative and she protected this nature. Okay, so this way you can bring that how they are keeping the environmental consciousness in mind and making certain schemes, bringing certain orders in order to stop the deterioration of the nature. On the other hand, when they are making the implementing the policy also, they should keep this in mind such a way that the nature should not be affected. Okay, so this way we have completed 2 case study in the class. Now I will start the third case, and if time permits, I will complete it. If we do not have sufficient time, we will take over, we will carry this question to the next session. Okay, when next session starts, we will complete it and then we will start with the new question. So we will start the third question. So second question is about environmental problems, especially there were a lot of protest and there were a lot of opposition during the CBD conferences, Convention on Biological Diversity Conference of Party, which took place in Montreal. People started opposing the move, especially the nature positive approach, all these things. So related to that, I want to make certain case study. So I made a case study related in that manner. Now come to the third question. Divya was posted as an IPS officer in a state. She was given a duty for security check for Chief Minister's visit to some districts in the state. In order to perform the duty, she was traveling in the government vehicle along with Special Director General of Police Law and Order Vinay, who was also in the duty. During their travel, the DGP behaved inappropriately with her in the vehicle on duty. Okay, on duty. Yes, Pragya, what is that? What do you want to ask me? Some doubt? Name of the book? Yes, the environment book. Okay, good. I think some of the students has taken my environment book. It's good. Like you can also share it with your friends from where you are getting that book and all. So that's also has been made in a very simplified way, in a simplified language in the current pattern. I have made that book. Okay, so you can take and refer that book for your, and in such a way that you'll get more idea related to it. Now come to this particular question. During the travel, the DGP behaved inappropriately with her in the vehicle on duty. She refused his advancement and immediately traveled back to the headquarters to file the complaint against Vinay. But on her way back, she was dissuaded by some of her fellow officers. She was warned, coerced, and even stopped by her colleagues itself on her way to file the complaint. Okay, so this is the case. Now, before going to the question, come back to the question. See, there will be already 2 times UPSC has asked sexual harassment cases. Okay, in the case study part. So, I have made a case study which has already happened. This incident has already happened. A real incident only. I have taken that incident and I have made a case for you. Using this, you can, I have prepared an answer also. You can use this if they are asking some sexual harassment cases next time. You can use it. Even though it might be a different case, more similarities will be there. Okay, so that way only I have framed the answers. First, let us read the question again. See what the question is saying. The best thing is here that she already is an officer. She herself is an officer. Okay, so she belongs to that community, the so-called law enforcement agencies and law protecting agency. Okay, the law protecting force, that is the police force. Now she is already in that only. She was given a duty for security check, so she went there for the chief minister's visit. So she was on duty in the vehicle where, and the DGP who traveled along with her misbehaved with her. So this is a problem like women are facing at workplaces. So this made her angry. She immediately advanced back to the headquarters to file the complaint, okay, on the person who misbehaved with her. But when she was approaching the headquarters, again, see the fellow officers who are working with her, they warned her that she should not do this. They even coerced her. Okay, they even persuaded her and even stopped her on her way to give the complaint. So now the questions, what are the questions which are put forward before you? What are the ethical issues you can notice in the above case? First question. Okay. See, last year there was one case study, not this sexual harassment case study. There was a case study about certain issue. Okay. In that, they gave the case study. After that, they have given 5 questions for you to address. Based on that pattern only, I have taken this case. So you can see this. What are the ethical issues you can notice in the above case? That is first question. Second, what are the options available to Divya? Second question. Third, critically evaluate each of the options. That is third question. What course of action do you suggest in a situation like this? Fourth question. Okay, then as a women officer come victim, what measures can Divya take in her department to tackle a menace like this? This is fifth question. So there are 5 questions in this. For this case, there are 5 questions. What is the first question is talking about? What are the ethical issues you can note in the above case? That's the first question. Okay. So you have to pick out the ethical problems related to the question. Okay, so in this case, you can see from the case itself, we can understand what are the ethical problems. First thing is, it's something like this type of issue is disrespecting women. You know, the sexual harassment cases. It's like you are causing disrespect to the women. Okay, so disrespecting. Okay, disrespecting women. Second, you are creating a you know a work environment. You're creating a work environment which is not safe for women. Okay, unsafe work environment. Unsafe. This is leading to unsafe work environment. And the women who are working in such a kind of environment is continuously under mental pressures. They are under mental pressure. Okay, mental pressure and mental trauma. Okay, they are under mental pressure and mental trauma because we know very well that after even though they are opposing the advancement in certain cases, they are not able to work peacefully after that. Okay, that kind of mental pressure they are facing from the work environment. So unsafe work environment is again it's totally a kind of immoral way of treating a woman only. So that you can mention here the mental trauma which she is facing. And even some women are undergoing the torture continuously, even though they are saying no to the advancement. And because of the family pressure and family situation, they have to work. They cannot immediately leave the work and walk away. So they are continuously forced to face the problem. And what happens? Automatically, some even commit suicide. They are not able to speak to the family members. They are not able to speak here also. So they are under continuous pressure, and even they commit suicide. So such a harm and harshful result is also, consequences are coming resulting out because of this sexual harassment cases. And third, you can say that it's totally why we are calling this as an unethical way, because here the law protector, one who has to protect the people, okay, one who has to protect the people with the help of law, is completely breaking the law breaker. Okay, so this also we can say as one of the ethical problem. So here, what kind of integrity this person will hold, what kind of humanity he will have, what kind of the ethical values and the rules and regulations is going to follow when he is doing his duty, what kind of responsibility he will have towards the common citizen. If he is trying to behave with the lady officer in such a way, how he would treat a common man. Okay, so these kind of questions are appearing in before us, and this is something we can connect with the ethical problems associated with the that sexual harassment problems for the women in the workplace. So what are the options available to Divya? What Divya can do, and how you have to evaluate each of the options. Okay, The first thing is that Divya can simply warn him, and she can leave the place. Okay, she can just warn that person, and she's saying that she doesn't like this kind of approach, and he should not continue this further. Okay, two way only. One is that she's giving a second chance to him, that hereafter don't behave to me like this, and I don't like this. Okay, this is an option she can give, because she was like forced, but she was asked to stop by that person, that please don't he is requesting us, is something, but in this case even he is not requesting, so we cannot even go to that option at all. She was trying to get warned by the fellow officers. So this way they're trying to stop her in making advancement to approach the headquarters to make a complaint. So the thing is that here the only option we can say that it's available to her is that she has to make a complaint, and she has to take a severe action against this kind of advancement which is made towards a women community. Not only her, the entire women community, because this person is in such a responsible position, and he's behaving in such a way that trust is to be broken here. Okay, so then you can say that the option is such that like she can take action, or she can even bring this issue to the superiors, that this person has behaved. So two way you can write this, because since the option they're asking about options available, one thing is that she can approach the headquarters, she can solve this in an informal way, not making a formal complaint. She can bring this issue to the superiors, as well as the committees, the internal committee, which would have been definitely set up as per the Vishaka guidelines. We would all know about it. So she can bring this and solve this in an informal way, and ask them to warn this person that hereafter he should not make such comments, or he should not approach me in this way. Second thing is that she can take formal route. Okay, she can definitely act against this kind of problem, and then making formal FIR complaint. So you have to evaluate each option. If she is taking an informal route, and if she is taking a formal route, what are the things which she is going to face? This is also applicable to the private sector. In private sector also, they will behave in these two ways. When a woman is facing a sexual harassment case, management, if she is going to make a complaint, sometimes she never makes a complaint at all. She just go and approach the management and says about this problem, and then ask them to settle this issue. Okay, you just call this person and inform him and warn him that he should not give me any trouble. And secondary thing is, she doesn't care about all these things. She asks the management that they have to make a complaint on this person. Okay, so this two way it will be solved. One, the management will be taking care of that particular issue. Secondary thing is that formal complaint will be issued, and the prosecution will take place. But here, in this case also, you can give both. Then in case of informal way of approaching this, what will be the result of that? The result is that this person will not take this to a serious issue at all. So far, how many women he would have harassed, and he is in a very topmost position. So he will take everything in a lethargy way, and he will never try to change his behavior, right? Even though he stopped misbehaving with this lady, it is not acceptable, or it is not trustable that he will not behave with any other women hereafter in the future. Okay, so that is a questionable part here. Second, that's why the formal way of approaching this is a right option. It's a right way that she should go and make an FIR against this person, and he has to be put in the inquiry committee, and everything should go on by procedure. This way only a menace like this can be stopped, and especially he's not he's not an unknown or anonymous person who is sitting there. He's a person who's occupying the highest position in the police force, and who he is completely a person who has to protect the citizens from the harm which is committed by some perpetuator or intruders in the society, but he himself is acting in such a way like a don or a gunda or a rogue. Then what kind of responsibility he will have towards the community? So this is definitely the right option to move, and this way we can say what course of action. Come to the third question. What course of action do you suggest to a situation like this? So now you can say in a stepwise you can add that first, what and all has to be taken. If suppose some problem like this is happening in any organization, what you have to do, how you have to follow. For that, first thing is that proper complaint has to be issued against this person. FIR has to be registered. And second, after that, the management has to take care of this, and internal complaints committee has to be set up. Okay, so this is based on the Vishaka guidelines only. Vishaka guidelines, I hope you all know about the Vishaka guidelines, how it came in the Supreme Court and how it resulted in the Posh Act. That lady Anganwadi worker was raped in front of her husband on duty because she stopped some child marriage. I don't want to mention her name here. So they public, NGO registered a PIL, okay, in the name of Vishaka, and that Supreme Court took this case around 1997. They took this issue and they gave Vishaka guidelines. So this, based on this guidelines only, the Posh Act has been formulated. Later, around 2013 only we formulated the act. But previously, prior to that, the Supreme Court has come out with Vishaka guidelines at workplace. What has to be done for women to have a safer working environment? In that way, they started giving certain guidelines. They said that when a woman is working in an organization, it is the responsibility of the employer who is employing the women. No, it is the responsibility of the employer to take care and make the environment safe for the women to work. Okay. Second thing is that he has to have an internal complaints committee in order to face problems like this. When a woman is saying that she is undergoing sexual harassment, she cannot go and talk openly. She cannot make a public talk and say and just climb over a car and say that, see, I am being harassed in this office. She cannot shout like that. She herself is in embarrassment that why this is happening to me. How can I face this? Whom can I tell all these problems? All women are not open. So they are not ready to talk. They are under pressure. They don't know how to express this outside. So there should be a complaints committee which should, when a woman is approaching, it should be in a friendly manner to her, and they have to inquire properly what is happening to her, how they can stop. So this is some guidelines which is issued. So then even based on this guideline only, Posh Act was formulated around 2013. That is, it is related to the Prevention of Sexual Harassment of Women at Workplace Act. It is called as Posh Act. So here they further they have said that after that when a woman is employed in an organization of 10 or more, then there should be particularly a complaints committee, and proper complaint has to be registered against the sexual perpetrators, one who intrude that one who is committing sexual crimes, and then even that she has to be given counseling also. Like after she's undergoing this trauma, she's has to be given counseling. This way, there are certain guidelines under this. So based on that only, you have to write your answers also. What course of action has to be taken? You can say first FIR can be registered on this person. Yes, who is committing this kind of sexual crimes. Then or sexual advancement or sexual harassment. Then you can say that secondary internal complaints committee has to be started, so that in such a way that this has to be inquired. Even the Human Rights Commission can also take a suo motu cognizance in this, and they can try to seek or sort out reports related to this case. Fourth thing is that this person should be first removed from his position. He should be either put at a waiting list or he should be suspended. This crime is not proved. So before proving, he can be at least put in the waiting list. So this way he has to be punished for the offense he has created. And these are some of the steps which has to be followed in the course of action which has to be followed in case of sexual harassment cases, right? And then last question is like, what are the long-term measures that can be proposed in order to stop a menace like sexual harassment menaces which is happening at the workplaces? That's why the question is asking, as a women officer come victim, what measures can Divya take in a department to tackle menace like this? So this is talking about long-term measures related to sexual harassment cases. So I think we cannot complete this particular question, or I can just give a faster points or a quick points related to this question also. You can make your own points related to that. So what and all you can write, you can just write about the out of box thinking. You have to bring certain things. You can say that it should be that should be particularly a capacity building for the internal complaints committee. Internal complaints committee should be formed as per the Vishaka guideline, but you can go further and say that capacity building has to be there for the internal complaint committee, and training sessions has to be there for the internal complaints committee to train them in the emotional quotient. Okay, why? Because mostly if you see, these people who are there in the internal complaints committee doesn't know how to approach, how to handle the situation. When a woman is coming to talk to them, they doesn't know how to approach to her. Okay, so they simply use harsh words, especially to take a police department and all. You cannot simply go and even file a complaint to them stating this kind of sexual harassment cases and all. They will talk in a very offensive language. They will be using some. So you have to be very sensitive to women when they're trying to bring these kind of issues. Then only they can open up further. Third thing is that you should, like how we are saying no to corruption, same way that it should be very much boldly said before the the year. Starting of every year, there should be a campaign, there should be a program which should be conducted. In that, they have to deliver a message very strictly and very strongly that this organization will not tolerate any kind of sexual harassment cases or any kind of sexual advancement towards its women community. Okay, so this way you can say this. These are some of the things, and then even the Posh report has to be generated every year based on the Posh Act. You have to follow form internal complaints committee. So every year you have to generate certain the report, year end report. So any complaints has been registered or not. In this way you have to keep on check whether the women are ready to talk. And even you can bring some people from outside, not only from the company itself. Outside people can also be a part of this internal complaints committee. In such a way it would ensure safer environment for the women. Okay, and the employer has to be educated. Again, awareness has to be created for the employer also, because many employer itself doesn't know that they have to form this kind of committees. They have to give importance for all these things. They're simply employing women and they doesn't know how to handle these cases also. So this way you can say these are some of the measures which you can take in order to stop the menaces like this. Okay, so with this we will end the session today. We'll again meet in some other case study session and also the theoretical question discussion session. Thank you all.